Well, many speculated on whether we would hear anything from Hytale this month, and while most eyes were set on December 13th being a day of big reveals, the team have decided to surprise us, set our expectations, so to speak, with an early blog post, filled with all sorts of new in-game images from the world of Hytale, along with new mobs, and even a closer look at Hytale-themed decorations for the Hypixel Studios office. The post also catches us up to speed with development and why we shouldn't be getting too carried away with Hytale just yet. Welcome back to Kweebec Corner. My name is Connor, and today on Hytale News Updates, we discuss the 2020 development update, analyzing 8 new in-game images, going over the new blocks, mobs, and system teasers, and then we'll double back and address everything important that the team had to say this month, including some concise and potentially even disappointing news for some anxious fans out there. This video is sponsored by ServerPro. ServerPro now offer virtual private servers that have the strength, storage, and speed to host some of your favorite games. Minecraft, Terraria, Counter-Strike, Rust, Factorio, all with one-click installers. There's even comm software like TeamSpeak. Each VPS runs on the latest version of Ubuntu and comes with a root secure shell. You can get the High 2 vCore or Ultra 4 vCore package by heading to the link in the description below and clicking the VPS tab. Back to the video. Now, before we get to the big news, we've got some big images to go over, and a lot of details you may have missed. This blog post was riddled with in-game tidbits. The first shows the sun rising on a Zone 2 desert coast. We see a giant prefab structure with what could be some sort of chest hidden up top. In the background, both to the left and right, you can see some more structures, one being just a small tent or camp. What also draws my attention are the bone ribs jutting out from the sands. Of course, we've seen these before in other images, but still are yet to get answers to what they once were. Lastly, on this image, I think the sunspots on the water look very nice. There's surely been some sort of change to the water overall, as the team seem to have been showing it off a lot more recently. The next image is of Zone 1, yet another human settlement, displaying more build possibilities as well. You'll notice there's a cool type of crisscross wooden plank block. In my opinion, it adds a lot of variation to the wall, with these new much thinner plank slabs appearing to work like padding, and I'm pretty sure this is the first time we've ever seen them. In this prefab, we also seem to see the entrance of a mine shaft, with the ropes descending into the prefab's depths, where we'll likely encounter many challenges. Our third image is by far our most exciting one today. Not only do we have a mob reveal, but it's cute and it's a penguin. Besides the obvious set of new creatures waddling around on the ice though, we can also see one deep below the water, actually diving for a fish. Hopefully this is a showcase of the penguin's hunting mechanism and diving into the water and swimming after fish, much like how saber-toothed tigers may hunt antelope. Behind the penguins is also a polar bear, looking rather predatory if I do say so. We have of course seen these guys before in a similar biome swimming along in the water. I love this Zone 3 image. Hopefully these guys will make Borea feel a little more homely than what we've seen thus far. Going back to Zone 2 once again, we see a couple of antelope grazing by a river. There really isn't much at all to take from this one other than the fact that, well, as usual, it looks beautiful. However, I would love to see an image taken from the perspective of a player who's watching whoever is taking these screenshots or recording the gameplay footage. I know it sounds kind of weird, but it would probably be a little bit more telling about how camera and filming tools work. Plus, it would avoid giving away too much about the scene or any other big systems. To the side, there are lots of different rock sediment layers, and it makes me wonder if they're all different block materials entirely, or if when you mine them, they'll just be variations of the same rock. I think the layers are a nice touch though regardless. Always knowing where to go for a specific type of material is also pretty important when it's something as common as rock and stone. A dim, lava-lit dungeon cave lies underground in wait for adventurers brave and bold. Something about this lava's lighting really sets the mood for me. The stalagmite-filled cave holds a bridge and some basic man-made platforms. Barrels hang from ropes, and we see some different ores amongst the molten rock. This cave is surely inhabited by goblins, as we see a giant brutish goblin king or war chief of some kind, almost reminiscent of the guy from The Hobbit, protecting a treasure trove of chests and loot. His armor seems almost makeshift, with a comically large spiked helmet and shield, as well as horns made out of potion bottles, some of which are even fizzing and sparking. His club, if you brighten up the image, is also just a set of books, hastily tied together. When they aren't launching explosives at us or chasing us out of dungeons, I'm sure goblins are going to be quite the meme of a mob to come by. And this is also further proof that goblins often inhabit places where humans once dwelled, utilizing and repurposing old equipment. We see some of these notorious black hydra plants. I'm calling them hydra plants because when I first saw one in the lava golem video, I thought it was some sort of fire dragon with like 2 heads or something. Alas, it is not, it is simply more foliage. A great image all round, however, giving us atmosphere and a new mob. Next, Hypixel Studios have chosen to embrace the meme, is this a pigeon? Historically, an anime character holding a book projects his hand towards a beautiful butterfly and asks, well, if it's a pigeon. The irony of this, of course, was not lost on the Hytale developers, it seems, as we get a recreation of that with a literal pigeon. Is this a butterfly, I guess would then be the correct term? Cool book anyway, and nice windows here. So yeah, that's that. Our last in-game image showcases Zone 3 once more with a few cozy snowy huts, roofed by some cloth and outlined with thatch. We've really not seen huts like this before, and new architecture, at least to me, suggests a potential new faction. Now, while this could just be an ordinary small human encampment, as we do know there were seemingly humans in all zones of Orbis at one point, this could also be another supposed Zone 3 faction. The Fawns. Hinted at only once in a concept art and never truly confirmed by the team, this faction would survive the snowy tundra while battling against the Outlanders, a very dangerous faction indeed, one more than intimidating enough to permit the construction of large spiked wooden walls like this. Whoever lives here, it's certainly a nice change up from the darker, more built up Outlander ritual grounds and Yeti caves that we've seen so far from Borea. And that pretty much brings our new in-game images to a close, other than the very simple header we got at the start of the post. In general, it's very cool to see the improvements that are being made over time. The water was very striking to me, and also it appears general textures have been tweaked up and now look a lot more vibrant. Now it's time to discuss the elephant in the room. It's no secret that we've been waiting for Hytale for a long time, so much so that we've started creating conspiracy theories in some cases and assuming crazy plans for the game's beta and launch. But we should probably deal with the fact that it's very likely we won't be seeing anything on the trailer's 2nd anniversary, or be receiving those big reveals that were mentioned in August for the remainder of this year. There are numerous reasons as to why this is the case, and the team dive into many throughout the post. As it stands, the team is still deep in production, but regardless of where they're at, with recent hype stirring, they felt they should let us know a bit more. The team spent 2020 growing after being acquired by Riot Games. They were provided the essential amount of resources and reassure us that they will be acting very independently of Riot going forward. Despite the current global pandemic, the team opened an office, showcasing just how determined they are to get things done that they say they will. This isn't to say they haven't taken a hit, however. Despite being a remote company, all team members have vulnerable loved ones that need tending to, and everyone should be taking extra steps to safeguard their health. It's even been hinted at that in some cases, a member has had to heal from injury or illness, and setbacks like these simply cannot be avoided. Obviously, we wish the whole team well and hope that everybody safely recovers. Despite this, the office was brought to life with new team members, and they've even installed some decorative pieces, including a 2-scale, materially accurate Kweebec? Man, that thing looks cool. I really want one. Someone make it, please. Please make some. Clearly, this image was taken while the Queeb was being worked on, likely by someone who does commissions for the people, so don't expect these figures in the background to relate to Hytale in any way. One true highlight this year has been seeing the team evolve, with new design leadership to producers and even developers too. Of course, the job page is still offering plenty of great roles if you're interested, and of course, as the team has grown, so have the overhauls to their production pipeline. No longer working in game jam style sessions as their old modding selves are used to, now they've made strides to become far more efficient, hopefully meaning creating any aspect of the game is going to be quicker now. Unfortunately, at the expense of not providing as many updates to the community. And so that's where the team now want to be blunt with us. Honesty is important after all, and the team have decided that they would rather not invest their resources into anything other than making the best possible game at this time. Their current marketing team isn't huge, and so weekly postcards have really become a great balance of community engagement and avoiding distraction from essential work by grinding out blog posts. Hytale acknowledges that this is frustrating, of course, for those of us that have now been waiting over 2 years for a substantial update on things like PvP and the deeper nuances of the world's systems. To see far less updates now than a year ago can be quite frankly concerning, and plenty have vented frustrations on Reddit or suggested that they should just outright take a break from getting hype about the game themselves. And to be honest, avoiding an obsession with a game can definitely be healthy. Again, holding the studio to very unreachably high expectations isn't going to help anyone, neither the fans or the developers. The team go on to say, "We believe earnestly that you'd rather have Hytale as soon as we're able to ship it than have us focus on blog posts at the cost of some of our momentum. This doesn't mean that there won't be a bigger update in the future, but expect regular screenshots to be the norm for a while yet. We do regret that we're not able to cap off 2020 with the set of reveals we gestured at earlier in the summer. That was a prediction that didn't work out. The features we had in mind simply aren't ready to make their debut. But what the team do discuss after this is what those reveals will entail." According to the team, and as mentioned a few times in prior posts, they've been reassessing more or less every aspect of Hytale to make sure it can fully reach its true potential. Many revealed features have seen small tweaks, all the way to being brought back to the drawing board and being overhauled entirely. Now, this can't have been easy work, and is likely why we haven't seen a beta anywhere this year. The team say that one of the big things they were reworking was combat, with recent changes showing real promise. That is going to be one of the big reveals, however, it will still be a while before they can share the specifics of Hytale PvP. The team do a masterful job of addressing concerns with a light tone, lowering expectations while not trying to scare anyone away. No big reveal in December doesn't mean the game is going to be delayed at all. We're still just as likely to see a beta for Hytale in 2021. We just won't be getting those big reveals as soon as expected. The team have no doubt seen all the Reddit speculation and videos, including ours, about dates, trailers, and so forth, and while it's great to imagine a hype train going full steam until launch, that's just not where we're at. And the team don't think it's fair to the community to allow a fever pitch anticipation for a prolonged period. There's still a lot of work to do, so don't expect anything around the Kweebec Corner just yet. Some have been worried about the phrase, "We don't currently have a launch plan for Hytale," fearing that this subtly dismisses the goal of 2021 that the team had, but I fear reading into this more than necessary may be doing exactly what the team don't want us to do. They haven't said the game won't be in 2021, so that's the important thing. The team previously stated they were aiming for Hytale to be playable for all by 2021. Keyword there being aiming, and a key part of that statement was also it will be ready when it's ready. The team are simply not going to rush this. They just aren't. No half-baked beta at the behest of belligerent bugs, or the inability to inefficiently overhaul a system once pushed live to hundreds of thousands of clients. When the team do have a plan though, you can be sure they will tell us, and be as detailed as possible. This community, and I'm guilty of this too, tend to make predictions and dig for clues, signs, and symbols. But for now, there are just none that are intended by the team. Nobody outside the company has access to the game if anyone was curious, and the game won't drop out of the blue without some prior notice. We can definitely expect traction to pick up naturally as the game beta gets closer. As a final note, the team state that this is what we are going to do. We're going to make a game, and then we're going to tell you how you can get a hold of it, and then you can play it. We hope that you're keeping safe and that you enjoy the holidays. Our team will be taking a break over Christmas, but you can expect to see some festive extras on our social media over the next few weeks. And that wraps up all the team had to say. Their Christmas hiatus from work will not slow down the traditional Christmas screenshot, and hopefully we'll see a postcard or two with some very nice reveals on them to see us through the winter. While the trailer anniversary remains special to all of us, I think once again this whole thing has sparked some interesting debate within the community, and once again brought to light some great points all round. While we still have to wait for those big reveals a little longer, while for those who were expecting something a little bit more like a trailer or a beta, it isn't all doom and gloom. On the bright side, we got a great blog post filled with amazing images, including penguins. I mean, it's the penguins. Come on, guys. Like, I'm serious. That's so cool. Buddha has changed his Twitter avatar to a Christmas one, so it truly is the season. There's no real big setback here, and we haven't lost anything that was guaranteed already. Plus, we have a big confirmation of an in-depth combat and PvP preview coming, well, when it's ready. which will, fingers crossed, include some more stuff on servers, co-op worlds, and mob attack patterns. With the media abuzz with articles about Cyberpunk, the new consoles, the Game Awards announcing all sorts of stuff, and just a generally hectic year coming to an end, perhaps this truly was the perfect brewing of a storm, a coincidental shooting star in Hytale's horizon, a metaphorical spare life. By not rushing the game or making the choice to show too much too soon, they've also counteracted what would have likely been a lot of press competition during this time of year. It's not certain what the future holds, other than a persistent team, an amazing game, and an incredible community. If you're a regular viewer, then you'll have noticed I've been uploading more Minecraft content recently, and I'm sure we'll be keeping that up throughout 2021 in the run-up to 1.17. And while we don't have any big reveals on the 13th, we do have something big planned here on this channel. Me and a bunch of other Hytale creators and artists have all gathered together to put on an awesome charity livestream event to support Jacksepticeye's Thankmas. He did shout me out last year after all, so I feel like I kinda owed it to him. Yes, yes. Water, drink water, Jack. All the community regulars will be there with lots of amazing Hytale chatter, gaming, and more. You won't want to miss it. That's the 13th of December. If you want to get more updates on that or just chat with thousands of Hytale enthusiasts such as yourself, then make sure to join the Kweebec Corner Discord server, linked down below. Continue smiling, thank you for liking, subscribing, and thanks as always for watching Kweebec Corner. Stay safe and keep free.